Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing something kind of different. I am vlogging with you through some things that I do every single day, daily habits that bring me joy. Just little things that are routine in my life that contribute greatly over time. One little thing here and there over time adds up. So the first thing we're gonna do is make some coffee. Okay, so I'm gonna sit down and have my coffee, but I wanted to talk to you about why coffee is on the list and why it's number one. So it's the first thing on the list because it is something that I do without fail every single day, twice a day. So oftentimes when we think about like, oh, healthy habits or habits that bring me joy, we think of like things that we have to do or things that feel like we have to really try hard to build this thing into our life. And sometimes habits are just here to bring us joy. Sometimes they're just here to make us happy and to be something we look forward to every day. And when we're building habits and we're thinking about adding habits in, it's helpful to think about these habits that we have that just are automatic because they make us happy and we can celebrate them every day. And then when we want to add something in that maybe we have a little bit of a harder time doing, we can tack it on to those habits that we find much, much easier. But also, habits don't have to have a purpose. Sometimes their only purpose is to make us happy, to bring us joy. So for me, coffee is this special sacred thing I get to do 2 times a day, every single day. And it never gets old thinking about, I get coffee soon. I'm looking forward to this moment in my life every single day. It's so sweet. And when I'm really trying to make it feel special, I do like plate it and put the little spoon on it. It's like an added layer of making it feel special and sacred and intentional. So that is habit number one. Habit number 2 that we're going to talk about today is journaling. So this is not new news. If you have watched my vlogs, if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I am an avid journaler. I journal every single day. It is like my lifeblood. It is how I survive. It's how I get through the world. Now I change what that looks like all the time. Sometimes I use journaling prompts. Sometimes I just free write. Right now I'm really into brain dumping. I talked about this in my Plan With Me video, but my brain is just like really full right now. It's got like constantly just like thinking about things it needs to do and things that need to happen, and I'm very distractible at the moment. And brain dumping in the morning and at night, just kind of writing everything that's on my mind down, does 2 things for me. First, it clears my mind so that it can just like take a break already. But also it comforts me. It like shows me that I'm not crazy for feeling tired. I'm not crazy for feeling stressed. You see everything written out. It feels like, oh yeah, this is on purpose. Like this is not on purpose, but this is like, this makes sense. It adds up. So, and I talked about this specific kind of phenomenon in my doing things that make me feel good, like vlog, like doing a whole day of self-care stuff. But yeah, so that's that today. Another thing to know is I'm filming this video in the afternoon. So normally that's like the first thing I do. I wake up, I don't brush my teeth, I don't make coffee, I don't do anything. I come straight into here and I just sit down and journal. It's just the first thing that I do. But I'm not normally like dressed and having coffee and all of that while I do it. But I'm going to brain dump a little bit now, and then we'll move on to habit number 3. Okay, habit number 3 is what I usually do right after I do my journaling in the morning, and that is yoga. That is something that like I have to do every day. Like my body is not the same without it. I like depend on it, and every day is different. So the way that I approach it is I just listen to my body and I do the stretches that my body wants and needs that day. I do kind of have like a internal rule for myself. Like if I don't feel inspired to do yoga, I don't have like a certain plan in mind. then I have to do at least one sun salutation, because that kind of does like a really good full body stretch. Use like your muscles are engaged. It's like a really good way to wake up. So even if I do nothing else, I do at least one sunny salutation if I don't have like a plan or something else that my body wants or needs that day. And I usually do take the weekends off. Like this week I didn't do yoga on Sunday or Monday because those are my days off right now. Some days I still do yoga because it's something that I enjoy and I want to do, and my body likes when I do it, but sometimes I don't. So I'm not gonna film that right now because I've already done yoga today, but I think we have plenty of video of me doing yoga in the archives that we can put in here and insert for you, and we'll pretend together. Okay, habit number 4 that we're going to talk about is reading a non-fiction book in the morning. This is just something that I really like. It reminds me to stay connected to learning and growing, and keeps me off of screens a little bit longer in the day. If like while I'm eating breakfast and having coffee, I'm reading. So right now, if you watch the vlogs, you've seen me talk about this book a lot, but right now I'm reading The East of Eden Letters by Steinbeck. It's a really good book. So let's do a little bit of reading and then we'll move on to the next one. Okay, so the next habit that I have for you is that lately, since the end of March, I've been writing a poem a day. This is practice for me to just kind of stay connected to my creativity, stay, I want to say like elastic about it, like stay flexible, and to kind of work that muscle that can create on the spot without having to like feel deeply inspired or to like travel to a new country to feel like I can access it, but to just be able to every day show up and work that muscle out a little bit. So today I already wrote my poem for today. I'll read it to you today. It says, once someone gave me the advice that everything sucks. Every job sucks, every marriage sucks. In its own way, everything sucks. At first this was upsetting to me. Who stole your rose-colored glasses, I thought. But over the years, it's been a comfort, remembering that perfection doesn't exist, that everything will be beautiful and it will also be terrible at times. The trouble is expecting one much more than the other. Expecting the terrible means never believing for more, numbing to the hope of the universe. Expecting perfection means never being satisfied, comparing yours to theirs. A life lived in black and white, missing all of the deep colors of the in-between. And one day, after months of life in black and white, I woke up bored with my lack of appreciation, and just like that, it was time to fall in love with life again. So that is my poem for today. Then my next habit I have for you is that I pull cards. This is something that people have a lot of questions about when they see me doing cards. They're like, what is that? What's going on? Basically, I use primarily oracle cards or tarot cards. Each one is kind of a different purpose. Tarot is like a specific kind of deck that has like a certain kind of suit, and then oracle cards are kind of like this thing where individuals create their own kind of version of a deck where they each have a different purpose. So I have some that are dedicated to work, some that are more like woo-woo, and then right now for the month of May, I'm using this deck that is a kind of like pleasure deck. It's just like all of these different ways to like take care of yourself. So I pull one, and usually it's just, I see it as like a journaling prompt, essentially, just like something to think about, something to ponder on. Okay, so we have one that fell out while I was kind of shuffling them, and it says, stop and smell the roses. Become present to the infinite blessings that surround you at all times. And it just kind of goes on to expand. But yeah, it's just like a little connecting point. Like the fact that I drew this, I'm like, oh, now I'll kind of keep in mind like how fast I'm moving, how much am I noticing today, and it just gives me like a new way to engage with myself and my thoughts, and kind of like a quick access point to my intuition. I don't take it as like truth necessarily, but I take it as how does this feel for me to hear when I hear it say, you need to slow down and like pay more attention to the good things in your life? Does that resonate with me more than, oh, am I doing that? I must be doing that. I'm thinking, do I feel like I'm doing that? And sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. And so, I don't know, I think it's just like a fun way to play with life. So that's my cards. I do that usually in the morning when I'm journaling. I'll pull a card and I'll write about kind of my response to it. Sometimes I disagree with it. I'll say like, I don't really feel like this is resonating for me. And most of the time I feel like it does. And I'll talk about how and why and what it means to me and kind of think about that for a little bit. That's actually the last thing that I can do where we are right now. I'm going to go to the office in just a moment and we'll continue there. So I will see you at the office. Hello, so we are in the office as promised, and the next habit on my list is to go through my tasks and prioritize them in order of urgency. So there are things on here like grouping like tasks together. So the most important thing that I do today is record my podcast for Thursday, but I also have a Friday podcast to record. So I'll group those together and I'll probably make those task number 1. Then I have some like more computer type tasks I'll likely group together into like group number 2. And then I have some like more detail oriented kind of content creation tasks. I have 2 workshops to write that I'll group into task number 3. And then a task that I'm dreading along with some other tasks that I'm dreading that I'll probably group into task number 4 just to make the day wrap up easier or just like feel more finished. The reason that this is so important to me is because I am able to then just kind of plug and play. It's like, okay, I know what goes first, I do those things, then I know what goes second, I do those things, and I can turn off the decision-making part of my brain. I can make all of those decisions right up front and go through and just complete the tasks. And grouping those like tasks together means that I'm doing a lot less context switching, meaning I'm not in recording mode and then all of a sudden in email mode and then I'm in recording mode again. I'm doing all of my recording at one time, all of my like deep creative work at another time, all of my kind of plug and play tasks at a different time, so that each part of my brain is on at the right time and I'm not kind of going back and forth, losing a ton of time switching context. So I'm going to go ahead and prioritize these tasks and then get to work, and I'll see you after the workday is over for the next one. Okay friends, so the workday is over. It is about 5:04 and this is our next habit. So the next habit is I always plan out the tasks for the next day, the day before. This way when I get into work, all that I have to do is prioritize them and I can like rest easy knowing that the tasks that I have planned tomorrow are like assigned a time and place. So the way that I do this is in my Cool Focus Planner, I have each of the days here and I just take the tasks from that day and then I put them into my daily spread and I prioritize which ones are the top 3, like which ones have to get done tomorrow to have a successful day, and then everything else is just kind of put into the smaller list. This is how the daily spread looks. So I'm going to do that now and then we will head home for our next habit. Okay friends, we are home. The next thing that is a daily habit that I do that makes me happy is checking on the garden. This is really fun because one, it just gives me something to like put my time and energy into that isn't work, and it's like a completely different energy than work. Like just like looking and tending to plants is so different than like sitting behind a computer or talking to a camera or talking to a microphone or talking to I'm just kidding. So yeah, I like to check on the garden and it's fun to just see its progress, to feel like you're contributing something, like you're making something out of like dirt. It's pretty cool. So yeah, let's check on the garden. I also like to put the garden in like every vlog because you get to see the progress, and like I get to see the progress for like memory's sake. That's a fun, you'll see some updates if you're a regular watcher. So we have our sage, and then the parsley is coming up. It's starting to sprout. We have a random chair here that we need to put away. The lettuce, we did our first harvest of lettuce this weekend, and then I'll do the second this coming week. This is our kale. This is like the start of the kale. Some more dill, and then the biggest dill that we have. We have basil, and then we have some basil seeds kind of popping up here and there. This is peppers growing out from the bottom there. Rosemary, mint, tomatoes, thyme, cilantro, and then we have our first little tomato coming. Where is it? Let's find it. There they are. I think there's 3 of them. Look. This morning there's only 1, and now there's 1, 2. There's 2 on this plant. You know where they're coming. So where the flowers are, there's more tomatoes coming. So there's more flowers here. And then over on this one, we have flowers there, flowers there. There's definitely some flowers under here the other day, but that's the garden. Hello everybody. So the final habit that we're going to talk about today that keeps me happy is my like wind down ritual. And I do this when I get home from work, not like the end of the night. Like I go into this as soon as I get home. And that's simply just to change into pajamas. So it's like probably 5:30 right now, and I immediately change into pajamas, and then I put my hair up in a comfortable way, take all my makeup off if I'm wearing makeup, or just do skincare if I'm not. And it's kind of like my invitation out of work mode and into rest mode. And this just recenters me, reconnects me to being home, to being a person outside of my job. Yeah, it's like a really precious time for me. This changes up a lot, but in general, it's just all about decompressing, reorienting to being at home. The other thing, like depending on your life and depending on your interests, I've recommended to other people, like maybe you have a journaling practice that you do at the office before you come home, or maybe you have a stop off that you make on your way home that kind of gives you a little bit of you time before you go into family time, especially if you're a parent and you're working full time. You kind of both, I think you and your spouse, you need alone time every day, like some form of like self-care time, both of you. So however you can orient that or prioritize that, I encourage it. So we're going to wash my face. I'm so excited about it. Okay friends, that is all for today. Thank you for joining me for daily habits that make me happy. I hope that inspires you to add a little bit of happiness into your life and celebrate the routines that you already have. If you like this video and you want more like it, maybe we can do like a weekly habits or a monthly habits kind of video. Let me know in the comments, or just like this video and I'll know that you're interested. And I will see you soon for the next one. Bye.